Canadian was quietly enjoying his morning coffee with croissants, butter, and jam at a cafe when an American tourist plopped down beside him, loudly snapping his chewing gum. The Canadian politely ignored him, but the American insisted on starting a conversation. "Say," the American said, snacking his gum, "you Canadians eat the whole bread?" Annoyed at being disturbed during breakfast, the Canadian replied, "Of course." The American blew a large bubble and grinned. "We don't. In the States, we only eat the soft part. We collect the crusts, recycle them, turn them into croissants, and sell them to Canada." The Canadian listened without a word. The American continued, "So, you eat jam with your bread too?" Sighing, the Canadian answered, "Of course." Cracking his gum again, the American said, "We don't. In the States, we eat fresh fruit for breakfast. Then we collect the peels, seeds, and leftovers, recycle them into jam, and sell it to Canada." At that point, the Canadian leaned in and asked calmly, "Tell me, do you have love in the States?" The American smiled proudly. "Why, of course we do." "And what," the Canadian asked, "do you do with the condoms after you've used them?" The American laughed. "We throw them away, of course." Now it was the Canadian's turn to smile. "We don't," he said. "In Canada, we collect them, recycle them, melt them down into chewing gum, and sell it to the United States." He paused, then added, "Why do you think it's called Wrigley's?" A woman went to her doctor's clinic. She was seen by one of the doctors, but after about 4 minutes in the examination room, she burst out screaming and ran down the hall. One of the younger doctors stopped her and asked what the problem was, and she explained. He had her sit down and relax in another room. The younger doctor marched back to the first and demanded, "What's the matter with you? Mrs. Terry is 63 years old. She has 4 grown children and 7 grandchildren, and you told her she was pregnant?" The older doctor smiled as he continued to write on his clipboard. "Cured her hiccups though, didn't it?" A stranger rides into a dusty old west town and steps into the saloon. He walks up to the bar and orders a whiskey. Suddenly, the swinging doors burst open. A cowboy comes charging in on horseback, shouting, "I'm Elusive Joe. Nobody's ever caught me." He spins his horse around and gallops right back out. No one in the saloon even looks up. The stranger turns to the bartender and says, "What the hell was that?" The bartender replies calmly, "That was Elusive Joe." "Why do they call him Elusive Joe?" the stranger asks. "Because nobody's ever caught him." "Wow," says the stranger. "Why hasn't anyone ever caught him?" The bartender stops wiping the glass, looks up and says, "Because nobody gives a shit about him." A little girl runs up to her grandmother in tears. "Grandma," she sobs, "why does everyone say I have a butt face?" Her grandmother pulls her into a hug. "Nonsense, sweetheart. You have beautiful cheeks and the loveliest eyes." Still unconvinced, the girl runs to her mother. "Mommy, is it true? Do I really have a butt face?" Her mother kisses her forehead. "Of course not, honey. You have the cutest little nose and such a sweet forehead." She runs to her father next, but nothing he says makes her feel any better. Heartbroken, the little girl wanders sadly down the street. She comes across an open manhole cover, holds her dress down, and leans over to peer into the darkness. Suddenly, a voice from deep in the sewer shouts, "Hey, hey, hey, hey!" The voice yells again, "No shitting in here!"